What recent warning has the World Health Organization issued regarding global disease prevention beyond pandemics? The WHO said that falling rates of childhood vaccinations around the world are making it more likely that outbreaks of measles, polio, and other diseases that can be avoided will happen. Which global economic trend has the International Monetary Fund highlighted as a long-term risk? The IMF said that high interest rates and high public debt are two big threats to global economic growth and financial stability. What unusual climate-related issue has affected global river transport and trade? Prolonged droughts have reduced water levels in major rivers, disrupting shipping routes and increasing transportation costs for global trade. How has France adjusted its national energy strategy in response to supply concerns? France has reinforced its reliance on nuclear power while accelerating renewable energy investment to ensure long-term energy security. What emerging risk has the United Nations linked to artificial intelligence deployment? The United Nations warned that unchecked AI development could deepen inequality and undermine human rights without global regulatory standards. Which development has renewed international focus on global food supply resilience? Climate-related crop failures across multiple regions have intensified concerns about food price volatility and supply chain vulnerability. What global security concern has expanded discussions at recent defense forums? The protection of undersea cables and energy pipelines has become a priority due to their importance for communications and economic stability. How has Australia responded to increasing climate-related disasters? Australia has increased investment in disaster preparedness, early warning systems, and climate-resilient infrastructure. What labor market trend have economists linked to productivity challenges worldwide? Skills mismatches between available jobs and workforce training have contributed to slower productivity growth. Which environmental issue has been increasingly recognized as a geopolitical risk? Water scarcity has been identified as a driver of regional instability, migration pressures, and international tensions. What development in global finance has raised concerns about regulatory oversight? The rapid expansion of private credit markets has drawn scrutiny due to limited transparency and potential systemic risk. How has Saudi Arabia sought to diversify its economy amid global energy transitions? Saudi Arabia has expanded investment in non-oil sectors such as tourism, technology, and infrastructure to reduce dependence on fossil fuels. What recent trend has influenced global housing affordability debates? Rising interest rates and construction costs have worsened housing shortages and affordability challenges in many countries. Which technology-related issue has intensified international discussions on data protection? Cross-border data transfers and digital sovereignty concerns have prompted calls for stronger international data governance frameworks. How has the North Atlantic Treaty Organization adapted to evolving security threats? NATO has increased its focus on cyber defense, hybrid warfare, and civilian infrastructure resilience. What global demographic shift has affected long-term economic planning? Aging populations in advanced economies have increased pressure on pensions, healthcare systems, and public finances. Which environmental trend has complicated insurance markets worldwide? Answer: the rising frequency of extreme weather events has increased insurance losses and reduced coverage availability in high-risk regions. What international trade issue has challenged multilateral cooperation? Answer: the increased use of unilateral tariffs and export controls has weakened trust in global trade institutions. How has South Africa addressed ongoing energy reliability concerns? Answer: South Africa has accelerated renewable energy procurement and power sector reform to reduce electricity shortages. What long-term governance challenge have the repeated global crises highlighted? Answer: the lack of effective coordination among international institutions has underscored weaknesses in global governance frameworks.